this on the bottom. A little bit too much monomer, is that? First time of the day, I'm a little bit rusty. Gotta get my ratio back down. Control this powder. I'm just gonna try to put this on lightly because I'm gonna do multiple ombres, so. First I'm gonna test these colors out. This should go well together. Like ice cream. I'll have to share. Okay, so the powder's kind of set. Maybe to work with it a little bit. Let's do a small bead. Let's add this teal on here. Testing this out. I'm gonna test these colors out real quick. And this pinky before I commit. I like it. This lavender and this mint goes really well together. Get a refreshing summer vibe. Peach. Yeah, this peach looks nice on it too. Good. Alright, perfect. So I see the colors go well together. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this ombre on this peach. Usually you can probably use a nude or something like this, but I'm using a very dominant color to cover up this mint. Look at that. As long as these two colors, and sometimes if you guys want to test colors out first, use a swatch stick and do it first before you do it on a client. I just went for it, but I'm filling some of these gaps here. Just like that. Give me a nice blend. Remember, I'm gonna cap everything later. Got 3 layers here. Got from nude to the peach to the mint. Kind of like an ice cream look. This one I'm gonna do quick marble. Try not to muddle my marble too much here. So I cap all this with clear later. I kind of did like a peach to orange to mint only. I really like this mint color, so I'm gonna go with the mint color only in this middle now for some design later. I haven't done this freestyle set since last year, summer. I'll put just a tiny bit more here to build myself a little bit in apex. I think I did this freestyle last summer. I'm gonna bring it back this summer. I used a different color combination last summer. This summer I'm adding the peach. And you really love using lavender and mint together, but peach kind of complements it a little bit. A nice apex there. Shape by now, nice and shaped. Thank you, Yogi. Thank you, guys. This one I'll do the same ombre again. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit because it's still a little bit wet. So I want to move it when it's a little bit more dry so it's more even. I want to be able to mold this acrylic, okay? I don't want it to be too runny. This is Wave Gel's new formula. It's very nice. It's like a Valentino without, but it actually dries. Very pigmented, doesn't marble, very buttery. I was actually working with Wave Gel to formulate these powders, and they're now available. WaveGelShop.com. Promo code NELDAD, okay? Save yourself some money. As you can see, I'm trying to form that tip here because I use stiletto tips, and the stiletto tip sometimes at the edge is a little bit not squared enough. So I kind of use the powder and to form a nice little square tip. But sometimes it comes in a little bit here. Blend it down a little bit further because I know that peach is going to cover up my mint a little bit. So I'm bringing the mint down a little bit more so I see more of it. This is 3 ombres, so you gotta really be able to control. Make sure that one does not take dominance over the other. So you know this piece is gonna go over this. I drag this down a little bit more, so I give a hint of the mint there. And you gotta be careful not to overtake that mint too much, because then it defeats the purpose of having 3 ombres, right? So you gotta work slow, get the blend in perfect where you need it. Remember, we're capping all this, so don't worry. If it's a little bit thin, it's fine. Just gotta make sure that the blend is where I want it before I cap it. Because once I cap, that's it. So always using my brush to blend, blend, blend. The timing is a little bit off with this powder because I haven't used this powder for ombre yet. I use it for application. So ombre, I'm probably gonna have to adjust my ratio and adjust my timing to be able to get the ombre a little bit more perfect. So I have to go back up and place beads. In the future, I'm probably gonna have to wait for the bead to dry a little bit more and such. But as long as I get the blend looking good, once I cap it, I'm happy with it. You're committed, okay? Cap with clear. That's when I say cap with clear. All right, some final touches here. I'm very careful not to overtake this mint. See that? The mint has to show. That's why I drag the mint down a little bit lower. But I think I'm really happy with this. Just a few spots here. I would like to have a little bit more pigment. And I'm just gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna lightly buff it in. Cover up those spots there. Give myself a nice transition. You probably can't see it, but I can see it, so. I'm very meticulous when it comes to ombre. It has to be perfect or I don't want it. Because ombre is my specialty. So in the future, I'm probably gonna have to get my ratio down. Like, there you go. Now it's like a perfect blend. Nice. In the thumb, I'm gonna go with the solid again. But instead of the new solid, I'm gonna use this this peach. So it's kind of like a offset of colors, but they go well together. I'll leave the powder here, let it dry a little bit before I start moving it. Once it's ready, I'll be able to lightly move the powder. If I moved it earlier, it was too wet. It'll go all over my nail. I won't have any control. Clean my brush. And lightly move the powder down the nail. Now that it's dry, it's gonna move basically an even consistency. It's not gonna be too runny, not gonna be too thick. If I see it dry up a little bit, I'm gonna let with more pressure and move quicker. A little bit on the side here, it's fine. Nothing a hand file won't do. And there you go. Gonna bring up a little bit more powder for my apex because I know it's a big thumb. Hey, I finally hit 1K again. So with apex, gotta be important. You remember, you gotta hold it down, and when you move it, you're gonna brush it down just half the bead. You need to leave the powder here at the apex area. If you put the apex bead on and you go like this when it's wet, you're just gonna drag it right through. Okay, you don't wanna do that. You drag right through, what's the point of putting the powder on? So then now I have a little bit, see that? I left it there. So when the powder dries more, I can easily go through with my brush and smooth it out without worrying about traveling it all over. So a lot of times you guys are building apex, you're putting the powder in the apex area and then you're just going like this when it's wet. And then the powder just goes right through the whole nail. You don't want it through the whole nail, you want it to position it right here. That's where you want to position the apex, okay? screenshot. Someone screenshot for me. Finally got back to it. And there's the set, guys. It's a little freestyle, like spring colors right here. I'm gonna do that powder marbling, multiple ombre. Shawnee, hit that screenshot for me. So I'm gonna clean my brush before I start my other hand. I have a little bit of acrylic here. I'm gonna break it out. And there you go. And later on, I'm gonna do a little bit of a gel marbling. And I gotta cap this still, so I'm gonna go move on to the other hand before I cap it. Give myself a little bit more monomer. Ladonti, can you screenshot for me? Okay, so we're gonna go same thing, okay? Whenever you're doing triple ombre, I always start with a, you know, bigger bead. I like to start with the darker color in the bottom first. I like more natural colors in the middle, and also some nude pink or something like that. I'm gonna give it some more time, okay? Move it down slowly. This is wave gel powder. You can get it at wavegel.shop.com. Promo code NAILDAD. Save yourself some money. The new formula is very nice. I want to say it's a Valentino that dries. I don't have to cap, but just because this set I'm doing ombres, I'm capping. If you actually did a whole set, you don't have to cap. You guys see what I'm doing here? I'm molding that tip. You guys see if I use stiletto tip? The tip right here, it kind of curves in a little bit. When you're doing your application, you can actually mold it and flatten it out so that you don't have that. See that? Let the powder dry a little bit and you'll be able to use your brush to mold it so it's more square. If you don't have access to those long coffin, then you have to use long. Remember, stiletto, it comes in from the sides like that. So what I'm doing is I'm molding. So now I'm going to do my mint. It's like an aqua. Just like that for the ombre. This is wave gel, yes. Oop. And I did my ombre already, see that? I drag down as far as possible. Now I'm gonna have to do my mint up here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually do the cuticle area first. Then I'm gonna work on my blend. Because I wanna split down my time, okay? And that's fine if it's like that. I make sure that I cover the cuticle area first. Get it nice and flush. Because sometimes if you guys are not proficient in ombres yet, you can break down the ombre steps into a few steps to make it easier for yourself, okay? Don't try to do the blend and also work on the cuticle at the same time. You may not have the ability to do that yet. So now I'll work on my blend. See, I don't have to worry about my cuticle area. I can just get a blend bead and worry about my blend. Place it right where the apex area is. Now I can just focus on grading my blend. Position my powder, wait for it for a little bit. And when it's ready, lightly drag through. Just like that. And I can blend this in a little bit more if I want to. Use my brush lightly. Blend it in. Because the powder's still wet, okay? And if I wanted more, I just add just a little bit more color out here. Let it sit. Remember, I'm blending downward, lightly, the tip of my brush, not the base of my brush, tip. Oop, I let that dry up a little too quick because I was trying to explain this to you guys, but I'm gonna go back through and finish this up. There you go. Get my blend transition. It's okay because I did this really thin, so later when I cap, I'll be just fine. So I have to cap this because there's no way I'm gonna be doing triple ombre and not cap it, because when I drill and file, it's all gonna come right off. And plus the pinky is such a small pinky too, small finger. There you go, get my transition, and I'm happy with that. This finger I'm gonna do marbling. I'm gonna do a triple marble first. I'm gonna put 1, get wet beads, 2, get wet bead, 3, just like that. And the top, I'm just gonna do this color and this color. Swirl a little bit. Nudge it up to my cuticle area. Make sure I have my cuticle area nice and tight. I'm capping this also so I can do this very thin, okay guys? Later I'm doing some gel marbling on top of this. And down here, I'll do the mint and the peach. At this point, you can add glitter to this. You can add whatever you want to do to this, okay? Make sure it's thin. Later on, you have to cap it with clear and make everything all even again. I'm gonna do a little bit of gel marbling on top of this later. It's gonna be a nice offset. Middle finger, I do the nice solid teal. Position my bead. Don't put it under the cuticle area. You gotta fluff it. Hit it right in the cuticle area. Wait for the powder to dry and start moving it. So I'm gonna go back to my cuticle area and try to pat it down a little bit here. It's important to shape while you're working. This is your opportunity. Remember when I told you guys earlier how the stiletto tip at the tip, it kind of curves in? See that? Now that the powder is kind of medium, I actually can mold it in to make it a nice square. See that? A nice coffin. So a lot of you guys have run into issues with not getting that perfect coffin because you're doing a long length and using stiletto tips. This is how you do it. You get to the edge there and then you'll be able to fold and mold. And I'm going to go up and add a little bit more apex. Happy Sunday, everybody. See how I'm dragging? Half the bead. Because I'm leaving the powder right here in the apex area. If it's wet and I drag through, what's gonna happen? That apex is gonna move. See that? I blend forward, and now the powder is more dry. I'm able to go through my whole brush and smooth as much out as I can. But my apex is there. Ooh. Same ombre I'm gonna do earlier. This time I'm gonna give this lavender a little bit longer. Shona, can you screenshot this and send it to me, please? You see that spot right there? Look. Then wait for it to dry, move it down slowly. And boom. Now I have a nice square tip. So there's a lot that you can do with sculpting, but this requires you to be able to time yourself, okay? Don't rush it. That's why you can't work when it's wet. See that? I'm able to mold and shape how I want it. Just like sculpting. Let's do my ombre. I'm gonna place this right on top of that. That's where I'm gonna start my ombre. A nice transition. I'm gonna pat this down a little bit because I don't want this to be too bulgy. Screenshot again, Shawnee. It's going up. Thank you for the shares and the love, guys. This set, I guarantee you, when I finish, it's gonna be fire. I still got a lot of designs to do on this set. This is just laying the foundation. This freestyle I did last year. It's very, actually, a lot of people really like it. I'm gonna do gel marbling on top to make a quartz look. So those guys are staying the finished look. On top of the gel polish here, this powder marbling, I'm gonna do cap it. I'm gonna do clear. I'm gonna do gel marbling on top, and it's gonna have almost like a rock look. So like you see those amethysts and stuff like that. It's a pretty fun technique. You wanna hang around and see that. And also I'm gonna do some sugaring effect with some gel art on the solid nails here, using these color combination. And it does come together really nicely, almost like a gelato summer ice cream type of vibe. So after I'm done filing and shaping and drilling and cuticle work, that's gonna finishing step. So instead of the peach, I'm gonna use the lavender this time on this thumb. So it's basically much like an offset of nails. See my lavender? So, do I move this now? No. I'm gonna touch that powder and move it to the middle. Watch me build this apex. I'm gonna put it where the apex areas. When I move this powder, I'm just gonna move this area down. You see that? I'm leaving behind powder in the apex area. This is how you do one beading with apex. As this dries more, you can lightly buff it down. You guys watch this. One bead with an apex, okay? And just enough powder to get to the edge there to have my 1 credit card thickness. And now I'm gonna go back up, fluff down this area. And now this is more dry, so I'll actually go to my brush and actually brush it down more. But if you do it right and you time it right, you should be able to accomplish a nice 1 bead and have the apex there. Although I'm gonna put a little bit more powder in the base. I didn't have enough powder. And base right there to give it a little bit more base. I'm gonna blend downward. Give myself a smooth transition. You need a big apex for the thumb because the thumb's gonna be a little bit flat. So I'm gonna build a little bit more apex, but I make sure I smooth out my base of the nail first. So now I'm gonna put a minor apex bead. Earlier, if I had more powder, I would have been able to do it, but I didn't, so. I'm gonna redo that again. Nudge the powder up. Remember, it has a transition. The apex has to flow from the cuticle area out. You can't just have a big ball of acrylic right there, okay? It has to flow. Leave that area. Blend down. A lot of you guys are getting to doing long nails and you have to start building apex. You gotta remember, it's a slope, not a big ball of acrylic that's sitting in one spot, okay? It has to slope downward, upward. That's the slope from the cuticle area out to the apex, and this is the free edge. So if it breaks, it'll break right here because this is gonna be more thicker here. Okay. So I'm finished with these powders. And now I'm gonna cap everything with clear. Well, everything I need to anyways. So once again, wavegelshop.com. These new formulas, really nice colors. They have a lot of other colors. You can use promo code NailJed. So now I'm gonna give myself a little bit more monomer, and I'm gonna go in with some clear, and I'm gonna cap my ombres. Make sure I protect it. If I don't protect it, what's gonna happen? Yes, we know what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna drill into it. So let's start capping. Let me put this with wave gel now. And this, if you need apex, now is the time to build on these fingers, okay? With clear, it's always gonna be very runny, okay? Be careful with bubbles, okay? Work slow. I'm gonna make sure this powder is gonna be nice and set before I move it. You see how it's running? I'm just gonna slightly control it, give it time, so I can slowly move it down the nail. Just like that, see that? If I were to drag it earlier, it would not move down this consistent. See how consistent it's moving down? How nice and smooth it goes down? This means that it's going down at the same thickness as how I'm using my brush. So it's not too thin, not too thick. And there you go. Get all the way at the end. I have one even consistency. And if I need more, I'll put up more. Possibly gonna put more right here, this area. So I needed a bigger bead earlier, but that's fine. I have no bubbles. That's the most important thing. I know everybody's like, I hate clear because it gives me bubbles. Yes, I do too. The reason why you gotta work slow is you gotta make sure you gotta take a look at the clear. Make sure there's no bubbles, okay? Before you start using it. If there's bubbles, you gotta start popping them right away. Just like that. And you still gotta shape. I love shaping with my acrylic brush because that's what the best shape you get. There you go. Oops, sorry. Kind of got interrupted live. Okay. So this is my gel marbling. I'm gonna do this one too, okay? Cap this too. And I know that I have to do a big bead this time because this is the whole nail. See how it's running? I'm not gonna let go of my brush. If you know it's gonna be running, don't let go of your brush. Hold your brush. You'll be able to control your bead a little bit better. Until it go to my cuticle area. For that. For those of you guys that dread using clear, this is how you do it. A wet bead, control, let it move it. Remember earlier I did this very, very thin, so I'm able to use my clear to be able to cap and not add to any thickness. And I use the clear also to form and make my shape also. I need a little bit more clear at the tip here. And now I'm gonna shape. There you go. Later I'm gonna put gel marbling on here to create a quartz effect. And it's gonna look really nice. It's gonna look like broken rocks, multicolor. Make sure I do my shaping. It's very important. I like to do my shaping with my acrylic brush because later on I just use my hand file and it's really, really easy to work. Of course, I'm gonna have to put a little bit more clear here on the cuticle area because I didn't push it up too much, but that's fine. Because I don't want to drill into this cuticle area later and take out the color. Flush. Flush the cuticles. And there we go. These ones I don't have to do because this powder dries. It's a core powder. This one I have to do. Move the powder. Make sure I don't have any bubbles. I'm gonna blend this up real quick. Control this powder. See, it's still running. When it's running, I just fold it over like that. Now, see that? It stopped running. I'm able to use my brush, my whole brush to brush it through. I go lightly, slowly. See that? The powder will move where you need it to move. You gotta be gentle with it. If you try to force the powder, it's not gonna be even. I like an even surface because you know what I want to do is have to go through with my hand file, my drill, and have to drill a bunch of stuff off. Why? Just like that. And shape. This is your opportunity to build your apex if you need it. Remember earlier we did this really thin, so we gotta really build a transition. Smooth it out. There you guys go. Nope, I don't need this one either because this is a core powder, it dries. So let's move to the pinky. Same thing. You see how I nudge the powder up to the cuticle area? I don't put the powder in my cuticle area. I nudge it up. I have more control so I don't flood. If you just drop that bead right where the cuticle area is, yes, you're gonna have flooding. You have no control of it. I'll show you guys again one more time when I do it this next nail here. Because a lot of people ask me, I have a lot of flooding. I'm like, okay, well here's why. Why does my nail flood? Because you're placing the bead right up to the cuticle area. And what's gonna happen? Gravity is gonna take the cuticle area, it's gonna bring it right down to the cuticle area. Put a little bit more clear here in the base because it's a little bit dip here. I can see that from my side view. I'm gonna buff it up. Give it some time to dry. And I'm gonna lightly dust through and I won't have that dip anymore. Okay, watch this bead. I'm gonna pick up this bead. I'm gonna place it right there, right before. It's a little bit wet, so I'm gonna hold on to the bead. Just as seconds go by, it starts to dry. I'm gonna fold this over. I'm gonna nudge this forward. And I'll tap lightly. See that? Tap lightly. No flooding of the cuticle. Now as this dries, I'm gonna start moving it down with my brush. And I'm gonna use this clear to form my shape also. That's shaping. I'm shaping with my powder. A lot of you guys using hand files for shape. No, no, no. I guarantee you, using the acrylic brush is the best way to shape any powder. The crispness comes from the acrylic brush, not from the hand. The hand filer helps you crisp it up, like make it look nicer. That's it. The shaping goes through. I'm gonna put a little more apex here because this is a very, very, very thin design that I did here, so I have a little bit more apex. Same technique over and over. Repeat, 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 repeat. See that? I have a little bit of apex. Okay, moving on, same thing. Right here. Nudge forward. See, how can you have bleeding of the, how can you have flooding if you don't put it where the cuticle is? Tilt your client's hands down, the finger down. Gravity will help you bring the powder downward, not upward. See how well this powder moves? Even consistency, no bubbling. My monomer is actually pretty good with the bubbling, so. Look at that shape. Come on, guys. You can't really complain, right? I haven't even hit this with a hand filer yet. Look. That's using your acrylic brush. This brand is Wave Gel. Now, actually, this is the part where I clean my brush. There's actually a lot of people that watch my lives. They love this part. Cleaning your brush is important, guys. This is a very important tool. I do this. I feather through. If I feather through my brush and I see clumps, that means there's acrylic there. I just lightly use my fingers to break it open. It's still wet because we're using monomer. Then I'll be able to rinse and repeat, okay? Light pressure, flip it upside down. Pull back as you push forward. This removes any excess back in the monomer. Again, repeat. Once you've feathered your finger through your brush like this, and you see that, there's acrylic here. See that stuck together? But when you see that right there, that end right there, that's perfect. So I got acrylic here, so I'm gonna break it out a little bit. I'm going to monomer again, and I know where it's at, so I'm gonna focus my pressure there a little bit. And then I'm gonna go right through again. And that means that my brush is free of acrylic. This is a crimp brush, this is my 16 brush. So I'm gonna form it where it's crimped, and this is where I'm gonna store it, and it's gonna stay this shape. So we're gonna go to hand filing. I'm gonna find the shape. I'm going to use 100 grit. And like I said, I probably don't have to file that much because my shape is already there from my what? Yes, application. So just cleaning up the shape, make sure it's nice and crisp. It should take you about 5 minutes max for both hands. Sometimes if you file too much, that means that your nails are getting thinner and thinner and thinner, okay? See that? You file too much, it's called over-filing. Your shape starts to change. It starts to move one way, other direction. Happens all the time. Happens to a lot of beginner nail techs, happens to the best nail techs. You just gotta be committed. Go in, file the shape. Crisp up the corners, that's all you gotta do. Ideally, this should be very quick and painless and easy, okay? There you go. Just like that, y'all. Yeah, I use a 16 there. That's right, guys. I'm just busy walking you guys through this. Haven't read any comments. But thank you guys for joining me. Yep. I use 14. Yeah, a little bit bigger. You missed nail school? And it's just very simple. You know, file towards yourself, and you'll be able to get that nice crisp shape. It's not that hard. Remember, I was shaping with my acrylic brush, so my shape should already be there. All this hand filing is doing is bringing out the shape a little bit more. That's all it's doing. I haven't done a freestyle in a while. There you go. Look at the crispness. Do you do that with marble acrylic? Yes, I did, Marcia. I marbled the acrylic together. Then I capped it with clear. Then I'm gonna do gel marbling on top to give it a crystal effect. Now we're gonna check the shape towards me. I'm gonna look towards myself, check, make sure everything is even, same length. I'm gonna reposition the shape. I'm gonna take pictures later. That's how I'm gonna finish filing free edge. And generally, everything should be around the same length, same crispness, okay? Thanks for the gem. You're welcome, Tracy. I'm here to drop the gems. I pretty much walk you guys through this whole set. This is actually one of my favorite freestyles when I use like these cream colors and these natural colors. I did this freestyle last year and I got like over like 100,000 likes on one of the photos. It comes together really well towards the end when I add all the extra cherry on top designs. I love working with pastels like this because they just blend together really well. You know, a lot of people say summer has to be bright colors. I think summer just needs vibrant colors. It doesn't really have to be bright, to be honest. It doesn't have to be neon. As long as you have a good combination, color combo, actually goes really well together. So, put this in a little bit more. All the excess we have on the bottom, I'm just going to clean it up like that. And these sets are actually fairly easy to do for a lot of you guys that are working with acrylics. It's just a ombre technique and a powder marbling technique. I'm going to take it to the next level later when I add the other designs on top. But you can do this as is and put top coat on and be an amazing set. You know, really good set. Get the shaping nice and crisp. Into that. Don't overfile. Remember, the shape should already be there. Unless you did a really, really thick application, yes, you have to file a bit more. But if you did good application, you don't have to file a lot. Don't mess up your shape by overfiling, because your coffin can turn into a ballerina. Your stiletto could be going this way, that way. You don't want that. I love this look. Look how guys, look how this looks. So the blend's so pretty. So I'm gonna check all the length, shape, make sure they're all the same. Good, good. Everything finished off with a little bit of front-facing filing to make sure my shape's nice and crisp and even. Okay. Now I'm gonna go do some hand filing with my emery board. I'm gonna do this really quick because it's a long nail. So this would be a faster way for me to do hand filing. See that? It covers the whole surface area. I can do the drill too, but this gives me a pre-file. So later on, all I can do is do my cuticle work when I do the drill. Then I just gotta clean up a little bit of this. You guys see how it stops at the apex area? So you can't really hit the cuticle or the skin when you do this, so it doesn't really hurt. 180 grit will work with hand filing. A lot of people prefer hand filing. If you're in nail school, you're not even allowed to use a Dremel, so you actually have to hand file everything. So it's a very good technique for those that don't want to use the hand file too much. I still wouldn't use my hand file. Look how smooth it is. As long as you have the apex area, you're never gonna hit the skin. It just puts straight out. And I just go up and down, change my angle to the side. Just like that. Nice and smooth. You guys see that? It gives you a nice smooth surface. And later on I go with the drill, it's very smooth, right? I don't have to worry about drilling too much. Easy, right? Good afternoon, Cameron. How are you? Thank you, Elizabeth Stanford. Gorgeous. Alright, can't wait to see. Yeah, the final look, I tell you, I'm gonna bring the fire. When you guys see the final look, you're gonna love it. I told you, this is my freestyle from last year, and I'm bringing it back out. This is the first time I'm bringing it back out this season. So, the smoother your application is, the easier it's for you to do this. Okay? Because some of these fingers I cap with clear, so a little bit uneven here and there, but not too bad. You can already tell where it's uneven. See that? The light area. So you gotta file a little bit more, and it'll bring everything. It'll level everything out. So I'll show you. I'll zoom in and show you guys. See how there's lighter here and it's scratched here? It means the surface is a little bit uneven. So if I stay doing that, it actually levels out. For those of you that haven't followed my Instagram yet, it's pinned the link below. I'm gonna do another giveaway in a couple weeks. Make sure you turn on that notification so you can catch it. It's the last giveaway I did was I did a whole student kit giveaway. A lot of people missed it because they didn't turn on the notification. They didn't see the post. Following me is one thing, but you have to turn on the notifications to be able to see the post. There you guys go. Now everything is grayed out. That means that everything is one even surface. When you come to VA, I actually had my DC class already a while back. Oh, is she here with you? He got the money? You got the money?
Both of us.
Huh? It's better tell him to reach deep in them pockets.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. He don't know what he get himself into.
Yeah, he did. My nails are really thick.
As you can see, I'll show you guys something. You see how this nail goes this way like that? That's not how I'm gonna be taking the pictures later. This is how I'm taking the pictures later. Not every client's hand's perfect, but you can actually make adjustments to make sure it's a little bit perfect, okay? See how the fingers go together like this? So sometimes when a client's nail's not perfect, you gotta put the tips on, you gotta shape it, you gotta do how you're gonna take pictures later. So at the end of the day, the pictures is all that matters. Because every time they put their hand in a different position, it's gonna move differently. So at least they know that in this position, how we take the picture, it looks perfect, right? Let's be honest. That's our job as nail tech, to make them feel perfect. I'm almost finished with this, and I'm gonna do cuticle work, and then I'm gonna buff, clean up underneath, and I'm gonna be all done. I'm gonna do some minor designs, some sugaring effect with you guys, with some neon pigment, using the powder we just had. A very nice pigmented powder. Why not use it in the design that we're gonna do? Okay, let's finish up there. These ones are pretty quick because these ones are the ones I did with just the powder, no clear. It's the ombre ones. Don't worry. At least this girl has some badass nails. You can take you out and people can look at your nails all day. Okay, so cuticle work time. For those of you guys that are familiar with the drill bits, here we go. I'm using my 5-in-1 bit I have in my store. Okay. This is a sharp bit I have in safety also, for those of you guys that are not of the sharp fan. Let's zoom in a little bit. Cuticle time, yes. I'll angle my cuticle bit. Make sure I get nice and flush. What this does is it eliminates lifting. I won't have any issues with lifting, because when this grows out, it'll be nice and flush to the nail bed. Will you have bits available again? I did buy. Yeah, the bits are available. Precious, they're available already. They're on the website right now. I'll be able to blend in this area here. That's where the clear was, unevenness. You see where I hand file? Now that's gonna be so easy for me to drill through because it's already smooth. See that? It's important to smooth out these little corners and edges. I I already flushed my cuticles. See that? You want to flush my cuticles? Right to the cuticle area right there. Now if I just use light pressure, I'll be able to go through where I hand file. I know that's smooth. Remember the clear I put on there? That protects my ombre. Circular motion. See that? Very nice and soft. No resistance. I'm not even pressing down. I'm just using the bit. It's just gliding on top of this acrylic. There you go. Because we hand file, so that all the uneven surfaces are gone. Now it's just smooth surfaces. So I'm able to go through and do that. And I'm gonna clean up underneath. Same thing we do with each and every one of these nails. Push the cuticle back if you have to. Angle. See that? How easy that is? If that was uneven, you'll hear like screeching noises, the drill bit will go crazy. But since we did a hand filing, we don't have to do that. My main goal now is to blend the cuticle area outward to the apex because I don't want it to be a bulge. A lot of people leave a big bulge here. You can't do that, okay? You have to blend out like this. I tilt the drill bit and blend it out. See that? Smooth it out and blend it out. My hand file, I wasn't able to get up here. Now I have to use my drill bit to do this part, okay? See that? I'm gonna move a little bit more of this bulge because I really don't want too much bulge here. I want it to transition out to the apex area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill around this area a little bit more. Tilt my drill bit a little bit more. Take around a little bit this spot right here. I know exactly. You guys have seen it before when you've seen side profile pics and it's just a big bump there. You don't want that bump, okay? We want it to be nice and transition. We want it to transition outward to the apex area and slope down to the nail. That's why we nudge the powder up. We don't put it right there. You guys see the difference? It's more aesthetically pleasing. It's structurally correct. And because we put a clear on here, yes, we have to do a lot more work rebuilding the structure, but fairly easy. Relax. Yeah, don't focus. That nice. You don't want to remove too much because it'll look like you need a fill, but you want to make sure you get right down to the natural nail bed, not drill into the natural nail bed. When you start doing this, you'll start to feel, you'll know exactly how far you've gone down. This is where a lot of lifts happen. A lot of times, nail techs are scared to get in here because there's a corner. You really got to just reposition the hand, the drill bit, and that should do the work. Get in these corners because that's where the lifts will happen. That's what will start popping off if you don't do that. Okay? So simple. Shape still there. And clean up any excess. Sets like this should take you about maybe an hour and a half, max. Relax. Tensing up again. Mm. Right through. How smooth is this? This is because we did the work already with our hand filer. We're able to just go through the smooth surface right here. We know that everything's gonna be straight, everything's gonna be smooth, there's no bumps. Flush this cuticle area down. Blending down the bulge. I'm kind of blending into the cuticle area at the apex. Guys, see what I'm doing? Tilting, flattening my drill bit so I can get that nice transition, okay? See, I'm gonna do that again, watch. Gives me a little nice transition from the cuticle area out. Run it out. If you're a right-handed, you go forward. If you're left-handed, you go reverse, okay? I think that's something that shouldn't, that people kind of forget. But yes, you have to be, there's a switch or a button or something, because FWD and REV is reverse and forward. I see a lot of nail techs that right-handed use it in reverse and they don't even know. And they, yes, I've seen it. I go circular motion. The way my drill bit is made, circular motion is the best way to smooth it out. If I run at the right speed, I won't have any resistance. Find the perfect speed. I suggest 7 to 9. If you're more comfortable with your drill bit, go at a 10. I mean, with e-filing, go at a 10. But I don't recommend going over a 10 if you're not comfortable with e-filing yet, okay? You got one hand down. It should be on nail-shop.com. It should be called the fine sharp bit, 5-in-1 fine sharp. That or I have to have the team update it. I'm sorry, guys. Check again later. It should be. Does it say out of stock? I hope I'm not out of stock. I have plenty left. Discount code. Unfortunately, I'm a small business. I'm not, big brand, so I don't have discount code, unfortunately. But I can provide you a discount code for acrylics that I'm using, though. You want to use this acrylic here that I use. It's by Wave Gel, wavegel.shop.com, and promo code NailDad. I price everything relatively fair, so you don't need a discount code, to be honest with you.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of companies will just jack up the price and give you a discount code to be the same thing, right? Am I right? Trying to make you feel better with a discount code when they just jack up the price anyways. This bit will probably last you years though. It's worth the money. I've used the same bit for maybe almost 7 months when I first got this bit. I just love how this ombre looks. Let's be real. It's got like this ice cream summer vibe. What's the best website to buy wave gel acrylic powder? Wave gel is wavegelshop.com. Chisel doesn't sell their own powder. They sell it through distributors and nail supply stores. They don't sell. But wave gel, you can buy wave gel from wavegelshop.com. I can't wait to do the gel marbling on these nails. I haven't done it in so long. Kind of miss it. It's actually a pretty fun technique that can add a lot of depth to your acrylic set. Make sure you get these corners, get this nice and flushed in. Up and down, up and down, up and down, down. Circle, circle, circle. There you go. Cuticle. She said it's gel, but it's from Target. There's a customer here that says that she is using gel from Target. I don't know Target sells gel polish. Damn, Target be selling everything. Smooth it down, smooth it down. Get that out later. Finish up these last 2 fingers. Can't wait for to do the design. I can't wait to hit this with the top coat, to be honest with you. This ombre, when the top coat hits, it's gonna bring it to life. I know it's really hard to do these cuticle work, guys. It just takes time. And if you cut yourself or your client practicing, that's, or like, you know, this happens, accidents happen. Don't get traumatized by it, you know. Just make sure the client's nails are relaxed so you can work. Position your client's finger where you need to go. Don't ever reposition yourself in an awkward position just because the client's stiff. You need to remind the client that you are working with a power tool, and this tool will win in a fight any day. So just relax so you can have that control. And if you nick them, you cut them, make sure you sanitize and clean and do all the proper procedures. It's okay. It's an accident. Accidents happen, okay? It's not the end of the world. Get back up in there. Start doing more and more and more. Get your hand. This is all about muscle memory. You're doing the same thing over and over every time. So your hand gets used to it. Then whenever you hold the drill, you drill your client's fingers, it's just the same position, same rotation. And see, I'm doing the same technique over and over, replication. This is all I know. I've been doing this for years and years and years. So yes, if you're starting off and you're still scared of the hand drill, that's perfectly normal. You're not supposed to be a pro at doing this hand drilling cuticle work. They don't even teach you this in nail school, so you got to learn on the streets, kind of, with this. Okay, finish up here. I'm gonna clean up underneath, and I'm gonna check my shape actually one more time. Flip underneath, and there's any excess, I'll clean that out with my hand filer. Just the excess. See that? Balls are acrylic here and there. Perfectly fine. Before I have her buff and wash her hands, I'm gonna go through and check the shape again. Make sure I didn't lose any shape as I was drilling. That can happen. You never know. This tool actually, this drill bit actually does everything. So, go back through, crisp up that shape again a little bit. You don't want to do this after you've painted or top coated, okay? Do this first. It takes maybe a few minutes, a few seconds, not even. It'll give you that nice, if it increases your shape by even 1%, it's worth the time, okay? I'm gonna go through and just reshape, make sure everything's nice and crispy before I do my finishing touches, which is completely practical. Good habit to get into for a lot of you guys that want that nice, perfect shape. You probably, sometimes you have a good shape after you file, then after you drill, do the design, you're like, oh my gosh, shape is gone. This could have helped a little bit. My gloves are completely destroyed, so that's okay because I'm finished. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'll put this in a little bit more. Because thickness does reflect on shape, okay? Sometimes when you drill, if you do really thick application, your thickness can actually affect your shape. So be careful with that. You may have lost your shape through drilling. You may not even notice it. Look at that. That's our finished product, y'all. Little TLC. ready? Next, you're gonna wash your hands, and I'm gonna do some finishing touches for you guys for the design, top coat, and we'll see the final product. Hopefully you guys like this set. It's my go-to summer freestyle last summer. My most requested set last summer. I'm bringing it back this summer. Sweet baby, look at that ombre. Okay, wash your hands. Wrap up my towel. Change my glove. So I'm gonna use some white gel polish. That's black. White gel polish. I'm gonna use my white art gel for my 3D. And I'm gonna use my matte top coat and also my shiny top coat. Where is it at? Shiny top coat. I will be using my stripe. Oh, is that my striper brush? I'll be using my oval 3D brush. Also my liner brush for this part. And this is the finishing touches. First things first. Sorry guys, my hand's a little bit sweaty, won't hold these gloves. And the ripping the gloves. Come on, get in there. Okay. So I'm going to top coat everything first.
It's not shiny.
Huh?
Or is it?
What?
Can you see my finger?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is my no wipe top coat. Very thin coat, very shiny. I don't want to do too thick because the thicker you do this, it's going to lose your shape, okay? You never want to lose your shape while you're doing the top. Look at that. This one, I'm going to matte first. I'll tell you why I matte it first. This is for me to do the design. I need a matte surface. This one I'm gonna top. I'll put a design on here too, but I gotta top coat it first. Top this one, of course. Look at that ombre come through. Come through, ombre. Ooh. Is Vina live right now on Nelda Studios? Oh, Vina's supposed to go live at 12. I'm supposed to be done soon. Ah! Is Vina live right now? Is she live? Is she live on Nelda Studios, right? On the same page? I guess seen her on Nelda Studios or on her personal page. I know. That's what I told you. She's supposed to go live here, but I think it's because I'm still living. I'm supposed to finish at 12 for her. So she's on. It's from Nail That Studios page, right? Not her personal page. Because we're trying to figure out if we can go live simultaneously. It should. It should just create 2 live streams. Guys, this ombre is the truth. Yes, it works. All right, you guys. When you guys are finished here, you guys gonna hop right over to Venus Live, okay? I promise you guys it's gonna be simultaneous content. You can get it at you can get it at wavegelshop.com. Promo code NailDad, okay? Okay, let's finish this up. I wanna go watch Vina too. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna probably do my gel modeling first. There she is! Haha! There it is. Let's see what Vina's doing after I'm done here. Okay. You guys remember I told you, I promised you that marble effect? Watch. So now I'm going to use my oval flat 3D brush here, and I'm going to start blending. Oh, look at that. I just wait until this top coat hits. Y'all see that? That shit fire. Okay, Kira. Okay, so now my last one, I'm gonna take a little bit of white gel polish for the middle finger. I'll do a vertical French downward. I've already top coated this, okay? All the way up. I'm gonna use this brush and just paint through. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of the other color powder, that peach and that nude, onto here. The peach and that lavender. It's so pigmented, I'm assuming like a sugar effect. She's gonna go in here. So I'm gonna top this again. Wait, I'm not gonna top this yet. I'm gonna wait until I'm done with this side. Now you can use glitter, but I like using those two colors just so I can get a nice contrast and keep my color theme for the design. And this gel polish should cure right on top of this top coat, give it a nice sugar effect for the color pigment here. So again, I'll do the opposite for this one. I'll do peach on this side. And I'll do lavender on this side. That actually turned out pretty well, guys. Go ahead, put it in. Excited. And of course, now we just dust off the excess. Now it's the moment of truth. Here, you guys ready? You guys ready for some porn? Nail porn? Look at the dimensions. Yeah. This is my top coat, no wet top coat. All right, everybody, when I end this live, you all should hop on over to Vina's live. It's still on Nail Studios. She's gonna be doing some demoing of some products. I don't know what she's doing, but it's rare you get to see Vina go live, okay? Ooh, she's doing some, designs. Y'all better jump on over there. Okay, when we finish here, just jump back onto Nail Studios. You'll see another live, okay? Let me show you guys a finished look. Here you guys go. This is my summer freestyle. Oop, sorry. This is very dusted up.